What's happening? It's your boy Big TRELL'Z Blogcast. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. We're gonna jump right into it. This is from a YouTube channel called Police Cam Story. And this is a judge that I found, I believe, first on TikTok. No nonsense judge. He calls out the BS from the defendants. He calls out the BS from the prosecutors, from the attorneys, from the police officers. Just any kind of BS he's able to sniff out. Especially the injustice that goes on with police falsely arresting people, trying to add extra charges to people's arrests, you know, things like that. He can sniff it out, and a lot of black people watch him. I believe so. They watch him because of that. Now, he doesn't just support black people. He supports wrong. You know what I mean? But it just so happens that a lot of these people who are in court that he sniffs out the BS, they just happen to be black. So the judge name is Judge David Fleischer. I believe I'm saying that right. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to watch this. I haven't seen it. And we're just going to check it out. The title is called Unbelievable Arrest Leaves Judge Speechless. So let's just get into it. Let go.
2024, in Harris County, Texas, a young man named Mr. Joyle faced a judge over a charge of evading arrest with a threat of jail time looming. Texas Penal Code Section 38.04. A person commits an offense if he intentionally flees from a person he knows is a peace officer attempting to lawfully arrest or detain him. The officer claimed Joyle ran when police arrived at a Texaco gas station after a vague 911 call about a group of juveniles with a gun, but something felt off. Joyle's lawyer argued he wasn't even the one with the weapon. The judge's sharp questions hinted at doubt, setting the stage for a battle between justice and a potentially overzealous arrest.
See?
A year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, Judge. On September 30th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a weapons disturbance call in Harris County, Texas. The caller advised that he observed a group of juveniles with a handgun after walking into a Texaco gas station. The caller asked the defendant if he had a gun, to which the defendant stated yes, and that he had it for protection. The officer observed the group walking away from the gas station and activated his lights and sirens. The defendant began to evade upon seeing the officer. The officer had prior interactions with the defendant and knew him by sight and name. The officer later was able to locate the defendant at his residence.
So you said that he goes into a Texaco.
No, Your Honor, the complainant was walking into Texaco and observed the defendant with another group of juveniles outside the gas station with a handgun. And then
Okay, so who has the handgun?
Yeah.
the handgun is with the defendant. And the defendant,
He has a handgun?
yes, the defendant said he had that for his protection.
Read it again.
Yes, Your Honor.
I must be confused.
Yeah,
Read,
that's
please.
not even what happened.
The
You
officer
can
was
tell.
dispatched to a weapons disturbance call in Harris County, Texas. The caller advised that he observed a group of juveniles with a handgun after the complainant walked into a Texaco.
See, this judge is awesome because especially when he doesn't really understand. He's like, hold on. He's like, this doesn't even make sense. Go ahead and read that back to me. Like, we ain't gonna play no games.
Texaco gas station.
So you have, see, this is an unknown caller.
Yes, it is the
Saying
caller.
that, hey, I saw a gun here.
I saw a gun with a group of juveniles. And the caller asked the defendant if the defendant had a gun, to which the defendant stated yes, that he had it for protection. And then the officer observed the group of juveniles walking away from the gas station and activated his lights and sirens. And the
That's
defendant,
when they all like
that's when they,
scam.
yes, Your Honor.
You were on bond for 3 felony cases. I have to imagine that one of the conditions that you're on bond for is no weapons. And now you've picked up another case.
So,
Stop, don't sing. Mr. Joyle, I'm gonna find.
He wants to explain because he knows that what the prosecutor read was false, but the judge doesn't play any games. I'm sure he's eventually gonna come around and get to the bottom of it, but he doesn't play.
Find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case.
See?
What time of day or night was this?
Your Honor, let me check the offense report. Your Honor, it appears to be at, I apologize, I don't know military time, but 13:26 hours.
It's 1 in the afternoon.
1 in the afternoon, Your Honor.
So he's got the 3 felony cases upstairs. They're all no weapons as well.
No
You need
weapon.
to understand that by picking up this case, it's very possible that they revoke your felony bonds and raise them. And that happens, 3 felony warrants are going to issue for you.
Wow.
So you need to get with your lawyer extremely quick. No, don't. But I am ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to be.
You know what's crazy is that he knows that what the prosecutor's saying is false, but he's not allowed to speak. Like, he can't even say, man, this ain't even right. This ain't even what happened.
Possession of weapons. And I'm also ordering you not to use or consume any alcohol or dope. And I'm going to drug test you today because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. You're to come right back and then we'll talk about your lawyer situation.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
I was appointed on this case today.
Okay.
Judge, I wanted to see if we could hear probable cause on this. I have an issue with him being arrested for this. I wanted to see if we could hear that.
What's your problem?
Judge, if I may, so this OR reads, a group of individuals have a gun. It's impossible. A group of individuals can't have a gun. Somebody, one person has a gun. Now, furthermore, they...
So that alerts the officer of a problem, and then he comes to do a further investigation. I get that in and of itself is nothing, but then they go to do a further investigation, right?
If I can make another argument, Judge, the person states that he talked to the person that has the gun, specifically talked to the one person that has the gun, and he stated,
it wasn't
I
him.
have the gun for what?
For
My protection?
Yes, for protection.
That's him.
No.
You told me it's him.
The initial caller stated he asked the defendant if he had a gun, and then that's when the defendant stated yes, and he had it for protection. In the DMs it says the defendant.
It's not. There's 2 defendants. There's 2 people
See?
arrested. One that actually had the gun. My client.
Do you see how easily it is for people to blur the lines and get the wrong person? And sometimes it's accidental, and I believe sometimes it's intentional. They just want to grab somebody. Like, this dude more than likely didn't even have the gun because all his other felonies were no weapons felonies. If that's what I'm getting, what I'm getting from what the judge says.
My client doesn't have the gun. He was arrested for evading. There was no gun on him. The other gentleman was arrested for possession, I believe. A Mr. Kenneth. Yeah. If you look at the OR, it's in there. Somebody else was arrested. He wasn't found with the gun. It's not my client.
Well, it says that the defendant was identified by the caller from prior booking photographs. And the caller was the one who said that the defendant had the gun.
Yes, Your Honor. It was the caller that identified the defendant and the one that spoke to the defendant who had the firearm. And
it wasn't him.
Booking photos, and they identified the defendant, Mr. Joyelle.
Judge, I asked that they look at the OR and see who actually got arrested for possessing the gun.
Yeah, get your stuff straight.
Judge, I think it was the co-defendant that had the gun.
Now, I understand this guy right here. He's not a saint. He has 3 felonies on his sheet already, right? But don't tag nothing else on that I didn't do. That's what's crazy. See, they think, oh, he's a felon already, so another felony we're gonna put on him. You know what I mean? Whether we get it right or wrong. Do your research, man. That's some incompetent stuff right there. Because this could have been put him away for life. We don't know what his other felonies were. Maybe they weren't violent. Maybe they weren't violent felonies, but we don't know. You know what I mean? And we can't just assume that because he's a felon that he did this.
He's the one that was charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. This defendant,
the other co-defendant has the gun.
I believe so, but that doesn't justify this defendant running away after they've established probable cause to detain him. That's the state's argument in our position.
Nah, now you're trying to.
What is he doing wrong?
Standing there.
Somebody had a gun.
See?
Get it. So that's why that person got arrested. But
that didn't just happen in that order. It's not. They stopped. They detained people.
I was under the impression that he had the gun, and that's why I found probable cause. Not that someone else had the gun and he's just standing there. He's like standing while black.
Right.
You know, he's
specifically
like,
talk to the person that had the gun. Identify
hey, if you can show me something that he's doing something wrong.
He ain't doing nothing wrong.
But I was under the impression that he did that and then he takes off hence the evading. If he's, take your time, there's no rush, right? But if he's doing something wrong, then they're gonna investigate him for doing something wrong, and he takes off, that's a different question. But if he's doing nothing wrong.
He's not doing nothing wrong.
There, no.
See?
As the hearing unfolded,
did you hear what the judge said? If he is doing nothing wrong and he takes off running, that's not evading. He's not doing anything wrong. Police will still, oh, he ran, so we chased him. Why'd you run from the police? Doesn't matter. If I'm not doing anything wrong, if I'm not the one that you're looking for, then you really have no case. And that's why I love this judge. This judge, like, y'all not just going to arrest people because they ran. What did he do? If you can't prove that he did something, oh, he was in a group of people and one of them had a gun. Did he have it? No. Okay. Well, so why is he arrested? I love this judge. I promise you. Go check him out on TikTok. I don't know if he has a page or not. Check him out on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. He's on YouTube also. Just Google his name. Judge David Fleischer or Flesher. I don't know.
unfolded, the judge dug deeper, exposing cracks in the prosecution's story. U.S. Constitution, Amendment 4. The Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. The 911 caller mentioned a group, but no clear description pointed to Joyal as the gunman. Yet, the officers zeroed in on him. Joyal's attorney pressed hard. Another person was charged with possessing the gun, not Joyal, who was merely standing while black. The judge grew skeptical, noting the officer didn't know who had the gun when he rolled up. Was this a case of racial profiling dressed up as probable cause? The courtroom tension peaked as the judge weighed cutting Joyal loose.
And this guy that they talked to admits...
I get it. Let me see if they have anything else. If not, then I'm gonna cut them loose.
Good, Judge.
Amen.
Please.
Okay.
Judge, so I'm going...
And he always tells the defendant when they want to talk, he's like, stop, are you losing? And the defendant's like, no. Well, why are you talking? Stop before you get yourself in trouble. When you're winning, just keep your mouth closed. That's it.
Going off of the OR, there's a couple of descriptions that are in here. First, there's two people that seem to be involved. One is the store clerk, and then one is the person that says he sees somebody dumping a gun. Now, we don't know what description is what, but under the point where it says prohibited weapon suspect, the suspect was described as a black male wearing a black shirt and two-tone colored jeans. It doesn't say who's making this description, whether it's the convenience store person or this second witness.
So, and Ricardo, I can clarify that. Judge, we called the officer beforehand. They indicated that they did not know when they came up who was there, like who exactly had the gun. We listened to the 911 call. The 911 caller just indicates there's a group of juveniles. There's three black males, 2 Hispanic, 1 white, and one of them indicated to me that he had a gun, one of the black males. But at that time, they didn't have a description, a decisive description to indicate it was one of those males.
Like in this case, if he was Hispanic, there'd be no probable cause. If he was white, there'd be no probable cause, right? Because we know that when the officer goes to investigate, it could not have been that person. But when he's going to do his investigation, he knows one of the black males has a gun, but he doesn't know who. So he has to do the investigation. But for him being able to do it, they all take off.
If I may, Judge. So my argument is just based off of the OR. My understanding is that they're going outside of the OR. They could supplement this case if they want to. They could refile it.
I really want to know what the officer, all I want to know is what the officer knew about who had the gun when he went up there.
Right.
Did he know anything about which defendant had it?
It's not in the OR, Judge.
There's the problem.
Understood. Okay.
If you find something different later on, then reapproach and show me, and then I'm happy to redo probable cause. If you can show me that there's something different, I'm always happy to re-entertain it and do it again.
Right.
But
until then,
the only thing I can show you is what's in the OR, where it says the description of the black male wearing a black shirt and two-tone colored jeans.
And to be clear, Judge, we will be contacting the officer again today and having them file a supplement to correct.
You're telling me that when the officer rolled up to all those people out there, he knew the person that had the gun was wearing a black shirt and two-tone colored jeans? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what the officer knew, Judge.
Because if that's the case, if he knows, if he's going up to the group of kids and knows that the gun holder was wearing that, and he's not wearing that, then we know it's no probable cause.
All I'm stating is what's in the OR. I don't have the answers that you're asking for. He's getting the answers based on a phone call that I don't have access to. I don't have.
Yeah, well, I'm not considering that. I don't care about that.
So then
I don't care what he's telling me. All I care about at this point is what the officer knew.
See, you can tell that this is a fair judge. He doesn't take any BS. Also, I keep saying that, but he is a fair judge, and he's like, you're not just going to arrest this person because he was black and your description was a black man, and there's 15 black men out there, so the officers chase all 15 of them to try to get them, and yeah, you can't be doing that. Like, it's crazy.
When he goes up to do his initial investigation.
Okay, and just to be absolutely clear, page 7 indicates specifically who told the officer that description, and it's the second witness, not the first witness that they had information about when they rolled up. The second witness that identified him dumping the gun.
Who is the second witness?
It's just somebody that identified him as there's a juvenile male just dumping.
Like who?
Is this just a random person that's in the?
I believe so,
in the Texaco?
This is a third party witness.
So the first witness is the gas station attendant.
Yes,
The second witness is just a citizen, somehow sees the gun and alerts authorities, hey man, I see someone with a gun.
It's alarming.
And he didn't give a description?
They did. This person did give a description. They said black male with a black shirt and two-tone jeans.
So, okay.
He does say that to the officer.
If he said that to the dispatcher, hold on. If he said it to the dispatcher or the officer, they knew who to target. So if somebody else takes off running, there's no need to chase them.
Officer?
No, Judge. That was after the people had already run. The only thing the officers knew was what they had in the first 911 call. Was that a black male identified, said that he did it, but there was 3 of them and 2 Hispanics and a white male, and they all ran. So they had PC to at least stop the.
What did the 911 caller say as far as who had it?
They just said, Morgan, can you clarify exactly what they said?
The 911 caller didn't give an exact description. He said, and I will say, it kind of appears as though English may not be his first language. When he's speaking to the person on 911, he says that there was a group of juveniles that came into the store. One of them had a gun. He asked if he was licensed. The individual said no, and he asked them to leave. And then he called the police, and he said it's a group of 4 men.
This is the actual
911
attendant. No, but the gas station attendant.
Yes.
The person working there.
Yes.
And he doesn't give a description at that time.
Right.
He doesn't. The 911 operator does not ask.
That's
what is the person wearing?
That's crazy.
They just said that they walked outside and that they're in the parking lot, like the same people that were just in.
So then the officer goes to do the investigation. They all bolt.
Yeah.
I don't think they all bolted.
Oh, they didn't? Who bolts?
My guy bolts.
And then the person with
They all bolt?
Yes, they both.
all of them do. Did they all get charged with the?
I don't know if they caught anybody else. I'm telling you, Judge, and the reason why I brought up his criminal history is because I'm telling you, he's known in the community.
Right.
He's
How
known.
they got to him.
Yeah.
If they all
They know.
bolted, why didn't the guy with the gun get charged with evading as well? If they
Because
all bolted.
they got the felony charge. That's why. They could have been it would have been a dick move and charge him with the one. Again, they could have, but he's lucky they didn't. You know, that's like you get a DWI and then they give you a speeding ticket on top of it, right? That's just insult to injury.
I just make the argument.
I'm sorry, you know, but had it been different, I have no problems finding probable cause in cases. You know, come up after about an hour of argument here.
And maybe it goes a different way once we actually get the
If
911.
you find anything else, I'm happy always to revisit. But is it Royale?
And it's like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's how you say in Spanish.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you say in Spanish.
With a J, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was Spanish.
So I am going to find that there's probable cause. Okay. When you hang with dogs, you get fleas.
Dang. So it wound up being probable cause anyway. Dang. Ah, man. I thought he was going to get out of it, but man.
I know.
You now know.
I know now.
Just listen. You are on bond for 2 very serious felony cases, right? Is it just 2 or is it like 3?
He's got 3 other cases, Judge. I'm just representing.
No, you shouldn't be hanging out with dogs because you could get in a lot of trouble.
Yes, sir.
Even standing there. Life is more difficult for you because of who you are.
Right.
And you need to be aware of this. You already are behind the gun and you're only making things worse.
Yes, sir.
As you now know, they might file felony charges against you or, well, revoke the bond. So
Yes, sir.
as it stands now, if you become a danger to my Houston, I'm going to put you in jail.
Wow.
You need to know
See?
that. No weapons. Do you
He does not play. That he's fair, but he does not play at all. He don't care who you are. Like he was just, it just appeared like he was on his side a minute ago, right? But he's all about law. He's all about what's right and what's wrong. And even if you're a 6-time felon, you know, and they come in there and they trying to throw this case at you, he's not going to have it. He's going to be like, nope, he didn't do it. So it doesn't matter. But he tries to encourage him. He gives him stern warnings, like make sure you're doing right. Make sure you're not out there doing crazy stuff because I'm going to put you away. Next time you come in here, I'm going to put you away. And I can respect that.
Do you understand?
I promise you want to see me with no gun, sir.
All right. Did you file?
I can follow that now, Judge.
It's just no weapons.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, we'll just reset it. Stay in touch with him. I've given you a lawyer. If you don't stay in touch with Ricardo and he tells me he can't get a hold of you, likewise. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, man.
In a stunning turn, the judge ruled there wasn't enough evidence to hold Joyle, prioritizing fairness over a shaky arrest. Terry v. the Ohio, 392, U.S. 1, 1968. Probable cause requires specific, articulable facts, not mere suspicion. He criticized the officer's vague assumptions and refused to let Joyle be punished for someone else's actions. But the judge didn't stop there. He warned Joyle about his 3 pending felony cases, urging him to steer clear of trouble. You're on bond for serious charges. Don't hang with dogs or you'll get fleas. This sharp-witted judge saved Joyle from an unjust charge while delivering a life lesson, proving that true justice balances mercy with accountability. Like and subscribe for more police cam stories. Watch the next recommended video click to
Okay, so my apologies. I must have heard him wrong at the end because the whole time it seemed like he was favoring the defendant, right? And then at the end, I thought he said he found reasons for probable cause. Maybe he said he found no reasons. So I apologize for that because I was like, that turned real quick. It seemed like he was on his side, then it seemed like he wasn't. You know what I mean? Although he's not on his side, he's on the side of the law and was fair. It appeared that he was on the side of the defendant, you know, helping him out. And then he changed it. So I apologize for that. But that was a good episode. I'm telling y'all, go check him out. I promise you. Judge David Fleischer, he's excellent at what he does. I promise you. And I'm going to do more videos of him because he's on point. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Give yourself a round of applause. That's it. It's your boy Big Trail. Big Trail's Vlogcast. Let's get it. Get it.